All right, Shalom Akim. Um, Basically, today's lesson is going to be a continuation from the other lesson, Hebrew words and their meanings. This part of the lesson is going to be called names of books, law, and history. Now, these are basically the names of the books in the Bible in the Old Testament, and basically what they mean. All right, so we're going to start off with the book of Genesis, which pretty much all the brothers should know. We've gone over this a lot. The word Genesis is Ba-Ra-Ash Yath. Bara-Ash Yath. Ba at the beginning of the word is in. Then you have Ra'ash Yath, which the word Ra'ash Yath is where you get the word beginning. But literally the word Ra'ash means head. Alright, so in the heading, and then the Yath makes it plural. So in the headings or in the beginning. Okay, that's what the word means. Now the word Exodus is Shamwath. Shamwath basically is names plural, because these are the names of the people, which are the Israelites. They came out of Egypt. All right, this is where it was named at. In all the different deeds and things that took place being delivered from the land of Egypt. The book of Exodus basically breaks that down. All right, the next word is Leviticus, which is Wayakwara'ah, and Wayakwara'ah. The wa at the beginning of the word is and, ya is he, and Quara is called, and he called, because this is these are laws in certain sacrificial laws, peace offerings, and burning of incense, and the meat tree, and the ephod, and what the priest would wear. This is the called of the Most High, which were the priests of the Most High. In the book of Leviticus, it gives you like a whole bunch of laws of what the Levitical priests were supposed to do and what they were not supposed to do. Alright, the next one is Numbers. Now the word Numbers is Bama Debar. Now the word Bama Debar, Ba at the beginning of a word is in. Ma Debar is desert. Alright, so this is when Israel was in the desert for 40 years. Israel was numbered, in there. And if we read the book of Numbers, it gives you, like with I believe with the priests, it gives you like the different ages that they're supposed to do certain offices. And then you would have the men of war, among Israel. They would be numbered, some of them from 30 years of age and upward, and different numberings of the children of Israel. Alright, so that's the book of Numbers in the desert. Alright, now the next word, or the next book should I say, is Deuteronomy. And the word Deuteronomy is Debarium. Now the word Debarium, the word Debar is word, and the yum at the end makes it plural. So Debar yum makes it is words. Alright, the next one is Joshua. Next book, which is Yahawashi, which is the name of the Messiah. Yahawashi means Yah at the beginning of a word is he. Hawashi is deliver or deliverer. Okay, so Yahawashi, he deliverer. Alright, that was the name of Joshua, which was given to him by Moses. Because his first name was Hosea or Hawashai, and then Moses gave him the name Yahawashi. Okay, because after Moses' death, Joshua was the one that led Israel into the promised land. Alright, another book of Judges is Shawapatyam. Shawapatyam is actually means judgings. Alright, the judgings. So when you read the book of Judges, those are different accounts of the judges of Israel and what they did and how long they ruled, and the calamities that fell upon Israel, and the different judges that the Most High had set up. Now the word judge is shapat. Shapat, that's just the word judge. The wa between the first and second letters makes it ing or present tense. Shawapatyam, judgings. That's what was going on back then. Alright, now the book of Samuel, which you have 1st and 2nd Samuel, is Shamwa'ala. Shamwa'ala, you see here, Shamwa'ala is the name of the Most High. Alright, so the Most High gave that name to Samuel, because Samuel was the first prophet. Because from the time of Moses all the way up to the time of Samuel, there was no prophets, in between. That's why even the Most High said in the book of Jeremiah, said those Moses and Samuel would hear before me, I would not, my heart could not be towards his people. Alright, so this is the first prophet that the Most High raised up after Moses. Alright, Shamwa'ala, because prior to that, remember, you had a period of 450 years where you had judges that judged Israel, because there was no prophet then. That's why I said every man did according to what he felt was right. So Shamwa'ala is the name of the Most High. Now kings, which you have first and second kings, is Malakyum. Malak is king, and the yum makes it plural. You kings, Malakyum, kings, plural, which the yum at the end of a word is masculine plural. Alright, now the next word, or the next book, is Chronicles, and you got first and second Chronicles, and that where you say that is the Barya Hayamayim. The Barya Hayamayim, the Barya is words, or it should have been the Baryum for words, or the Barya could also be like my word, but in this case is words. And then Hayamayim, Ha is the, and Mayum is another way of saying Yamayum is another way of saying day, because the way you say day is Yawum. Alright, let me write it here real quick. Yawum is the actual way you say day, but in this case they have Yamayum, which is another way of saying day. Now the yum at the end makes it plural, so Hayamayim is the days, so words of the days. So back then, or more so you can understand a bit of the words of those days. So the word, because of the scribes back then, what they did was they wrote down all the different acts of the kings and things that they did and things that were happening to Israel back then. So this is a book basically of the history of the kings, of what took place back in Israel. Now the word Chronicles comes from the Greek word chronos, and the Greek word chronos is time. Alright, that's where you get the word time. So basically back then they encapsulated everything that took place among those kings, and the different acts that they did, and the wickedness that they did, and the righteousness that they did, and the feasts that they kept, and they put it all into this one book called Chronicles. You also have something in the book of Kings, that they documented certain things there, in the book of Samuel, so on and so forth. Alright, so Chronicles is the words of those days. Now the next one is Ezra, which means Izara or Izara. Now the word Izar is help. Alright, so Izara is the name of Ezra, which is help. Alright, and the Most High helped Israel back then during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. So it's not ironic that his name would be called help, because he was a ready scribe. So the Lord set him up to help back then with the building back up of the temple, and the kingdom of Israel that was torn down by the Babylonians. Right, the next one is Nehemiah. Alright, Nehemiah. Nehemiah. So Nehemiah is Yahweh, which is, you see here, Yah is a short form of the Most High's name, and I did a lesson on that. So it's Yahweh comforts. Nacha is another way of saying comfort. Is either Nacha when you have it connected like this, or it's actually is Nach. Alright, Nach is comfort. Alright, so Nehemiah is a comfort of Yahweh. Why? Because during the time of Nehemiah was a cupbearer to the king, and he basically, the king asked him what was wrong with him, because his countenance was sad, and he told him what happened to Jerusalem, and he basically gave him leave to go, gave him leave, money, everything that he needed to go and build Jerusalem back up. So that was the Most High comforting Israel through Nehemiah, which was known as a governor back then, or the Tershatha. Alright, the book of Esther, Asathar is star. Alright, because the word Ashtoreth or Ashtar, is a word for star. Alright, like asteroid, Aster, those are different Latin and Greek names for star. Alright, the next word, or the next book, is Job, Ayawab. Now Ayawab is hated or persecuted. And you know what happened to Job during that time? He was hated and he was persecuted. The Most High persecuted him just to test him. All right. The next one is the book of Psalms, Thahalium, which means songs. The Psalms are songs, songs of David, whether it was for deliverance, grievances, catching hell, whatever the case may be. You know, when you read the book of Psalms, those are basically songs that King David and other righteous men were singing to the Most High. That's why Paul said, as any married, let him sing psalms. All right, Proverbs, Mashalia. Now, Mashalia means to assimilate or to make like. I believe it was supposed to be make like or assimilate. All right, because Proverbs basically were speaking about one thing, almost like a parable, you know, or a riddle. You know, you're speaking about one thing, and you know, to convey a message across to somebody else, and they were given as stepping stones, so to speak, for wisdom, you know. And they would tell you, you know, certain things, you know, like what if you did certain things, you were a righteous man. If you did other things, you were a wicked man, and different, you know, wise sayings that were written in the book of Proverbs by Solomon to help conduct, you know, your everyday life. All right, that's why when you read the Proverbs, there's a lot of wisdom in the Proverbs. All right, the next one is Songs of Solomon, which is Shayar Hashayarim. Shayar Hashayarim means song, the songs. That's why sometimes you'll see it written Song of Songs or Canticles, which is a Latin way of saying songs. All right, and these were poems that were written by Solomon concerning the Most High, Yahweh Shai, you know, the elect, you know, in Israel in general. All right, so Shayar Hashayarim. All right, the Songs of Songs, which is the Songs of Solomon, which Solomon wrote that. You know, because when you bring out the book of Songs of Solomon 1 and 5 to prove that he was a black man, they'll say, oh, he was that was a woman. I forget the Shulamite woman. No, those are King Solomon's songs that he wrote. It says in the first verse, in the first chapter, the Song of Songs, which is Solomon. So the Songs of Solomon is Shayar Hashayarim. This is another way of saying song, Shayar. Okay. Now the name of the book of Ruth is Rawath, which is friendship. All right, because she made friendship with Naomi back then, you know, and with Israel. All right. Lamentations, Ayaka, which is a lamentation or crying. The word lamentation means to cry or mourn bitterly. And then you have the book of Ecclesiastes, which is Quahalath. Now, Quahalath means to assemble, to summon, or public assembly. All right. Now, the word Ecclesiastes is where you get the word Iglesia from. Ek at the beginning, right here, which is sometimes spelled ek, ek is out, and Klesia is to gather or to call. All right. So to call out, the word church means to call out. The word Ecclesiastes basically means to assemble, to summon, public assembly. Because when they would call for the congregation of Israel to come together, what would they do? They would read the book of the law. You know, in the book of the law, after a while, it kept building up. You know, with you know, the book of Judges, the book of Samuel. You know, and different other books. You know, prophets. So they, you know, it would increase. And then you had the Proverbs, you had the Ecclesiastes. You know, and these things were given to the people for understanding. You know, for the people of Israel, for understanding. All right. So with that, you know, I'm gonna cut it there. The next part of it would be the name of prophets, you know. So Lord's will, next time, you know, I'll go into that. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and I hope you learned something.